Hello, my friends. Welcome to the show, East-West Show with G&E TV. It is a show viewed on a daily basis by lots of audiences, and all of them like the show. I have emails. They give a very, very big comment on it, and some even 2 thumbs up. Right? I like that. For that, thank you very much. Yes, today joining me is my good friend, Mr. Ken Hemming, and a famous writer of a beautiful book, Life is Simple, 100 Words Live By. However, today we're not talking about his book. It might relate to some of his concept in the book, but it is actually not about the book. It's about, let's start with LA Clippers.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Thank you for letting me be here, Jack.
Okay, very good. Okay, good. It was a huge event, a huge party. The Staples Center was packed with people for a celebration of the new team leader, or new team ownership. Mr. Stephen Ballmer made quite a moment, quite a wonderful moment, and let's talk about it. And once again, it is our tradition to let the news take the portion of the news. What we go after is a message.
Yes.
So for a message, though, we're always finding stories behind the story, right? We'll find stories behind the news, or maybe another story behind the story. Right? So talking about message, though, Cam, what kind of message do you think that event, I mean, not only the event itself, the turnover, the ownership, delivered to you?
Well, as you know, Jack, I'm a sportsman, okay? I went through college on a baseball scholarship. I'm a competitor, and I love sporting activities.
All right.
Two main things come out of this yesterday. Number one, it won't be boring when Steve is around. I looked on the YouTube at some of, when he was the master ceremonies of some of the Microsoft events that he hosted, and he's a wild man. And he's running around, and he's screaming, and he's sweating, and he's excited. And so there's a new dimension way out of boredom into like thrilling activities that he's going to be the leader of. And in fact, after 2 minutes yesterday, he lost his voice because he just is so active.
Yeah, exactly.
And I like the guy for many reasons. Number one, he graduated magna cum laude from Harvard and had an 800 on the SAT mathematics test, and is a very smart guy. And he came from Detroit, and I've calculated that he probably has made more money himself than all of the Motown people put together in Detroit, which I love the concept, okay?
Good.
But so I like him. I'm not sure, he was not a particular participant in sports in his background, so I'm wondering why he has such an interest. However, he was a manager on the football team, a manager at Harvard, and he was coached some little league and basketball teams with his kids up in Washington. So I don't know why he does this. He just left in 2012 as the CEO of Microsoft, accumulating approximately $20 billion right now. And so he put 10% of it, $2 billion, into the Clippers. Why? I'm not sure. It's not in his hometown. He wants to, get a winner. He can afford the best talent around. And what does bother me is sports people used to be a Yankee for their whole career, a Dodger for their whole career, or whatever, in whatever the major sports. And now I think it's more about money, who's got the money, and less about who's got the athletes. And I don't like money dictating everything. So that part bothers me.
All right, good. And I like your analysis, and I like your sense about the message that was delivered. But to me, neither am I a fan of LA Laker, nor am I a fan of Clippers.
Yes, sir.
I'm just me.
Yes.
That's it, right? So whoever does something like this, that's good. then as long as the message is positive, I raise my both hands, raise my both thumbs up for it. Right? As to the action or performances that Stephen has put up on stage, that's different stories.
Yeah.
People, worth that a lot of money, well, whatever they do, they are right. As long as you have money, you can do anything you want. You can act any way you want because you are the money. Money is you.
Except that unfortunately, in the case of Donald Sterling, who owned it before and had billions, you know, just because he was a little bit loose-lipped, they made him sell the team. I disagree with that reason, but that's life, and that's what happened. So he was really subjected to, you know, a punishment for being who he was.
Of course. At least there's only one of the teams we're talking about.
Yes.
As the changing hands of the ownership of a team is the other. Right. That's, by the way, exactly is what I want to look into to find more messages about it. What indicates to me is that LA is a part of the country, is a piece of land that anybody who said something as wrong as Donald Sterling did would cost him a team that is worth of $2 billion in a beat, with a beat, right?
Not a bad punishment in a way. He's got a lot of money.
Not a bad punishment.
Yeah.
Over for several months, with the argument going back and forth, and by the way, Donald Sterling is filing another case with the federal to quote unquote cover his face, whatever. Right. That's a different story. What I'm thinking what I'm adoring is the culture that's been created on this piece of land, that anybody who made a statement of that nature would cost him arms and legs, if not a lifetime saving. Right?
But and yet certain statements can be said by somebody and it will be despised and punished for it. And other statements can be made by others that, in my opinion, are just as outrageous, and there's no punishment. So it's always a very unique situation. Now, the big deal, too, in LA, it's such a huge market, $2.15 billion was paid for the Dodgers. So it takes so much money now. You used to have people that owned it. Now it's like either mega rich people or organizations, and it's taken away the personal, I think it's taken away the personal relationship between the owner, even though personable people, okay, between the owner and the players.
All right. That's one side of the story. The other side of the story is exactly what I want to emphasize. Please do not drag me away from it.
Yes, sir.
Is that the message is that whoever says something of that nature would cost him arms and legs. Right?
You're exactly right, but some get away with it and some don't, and it's not a fair playing field who gets away with it and who doesn't.
All right, you're talking.
That's my point.
Now you're talking. Somebody says something like Beckles.
Yeah. Right.
Somebody who says something like Jimmy, what is his name?
Fallon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't they do anything of that?
Why do they get away with it?
Any punishment of that nature? Right.
Yeah. Well, you're right, because not enough. Well, you know, with the Beckel thing, there's just not enough backlash from the Chinese community who are offended by it. Not a powerful enough backlash. And then anything even remotely associated with some perception of racism, which I think really is not as big in existence as other people say, is involving, say, Caucasians and African Americans. It's so sensitive and that it gets more attention and more reaction than if someone said anything outrageous about me, it'd get none.
Can we say that LA has set up a very good example for being very judicious? So we take no sides of colors. We are disinterested in colors.
Totally, I am.
We're totally neutral.
Yes, sir.
Right. For example, if you recall, O.J. Simpson was a black.
Yep.
Right. So the verdict was that he didn't kill.
Right. And we all think the verdict was wrong.
Kelly Thomas wasn't black.
Right.
And he was killed.
Right.
Right. So regardless.
Yeah.
So am I getting the message in the right way or wrong way or even sarcastic way.
I just think it's not an even playing field. Some people can get away with some things because there are some sensitivities in our culture now, some of which are enhanced by some of our leaders that want controversy and thrive on controversy.
No, this whole thing has nothing to do with the leaders. It is the concept, it is the culture you're talking about. I am trying to enlarge the message that it delivered, the team ownership has delivered so far, to indicate that the LA is a place of justice, it's a place of being judicious, right? We're so fair, so we can kill a white people.
Nobody cares.
Who has done nothing. Right?
Right.
And we can make a black who we believe, lots of people believe killed,
right,
a free man.
Right, that's right.
So are we taking the lessons positively or are we taking the lessons negatively? That's the answer I want you to give me, please.
I find it a little bit of a negative answer rather than a positive one, because I do believe in justice in its purest form, in its pure form, only based on facts and reality, whatever they may be, and sometimes we don't know what they are. But that's what I will breathe for.
Or probably we're so confused that sometimes we don't tell right from wrong.
Yeah,
right.
It's confusing.
So as a result, you might see that we are so judicious. We're so disinterested in colors. We're so equal, people to people. But yet sometimes we forget something.
Well, you know, I think the major media is interested in color and likes to exacerbate and exaggerate it.
All right.
As a factor.
They get no punishment, right? Okay,
sometimes.
Now, from that, we have to notice the other side of the world, the other side of the country. Somewhere, somehow, in a town of Ferguson?
Yeah, Ferguson.
Ferguson. Right. Ferguson of Missouri.
Yes, sir.
The show me state.
Yes,
right?
It is.
We are encountering something that cannot show anything, cannot indicate any message like this kind, what we have in LA.
Correct.
Let's take a short moment out. When we come back, we'll bring our audiences to what's happening in Missouri. Please stay with us.